How exactly do sales funnels work? Now, this is something that causes a lot of confusion. So let me just give you an overview in this video. Now, the principle behind a sales funnel is to build trust. Trust in you, trust in your products or services, trust in your ability to deliver on time, and perhaps most importantly, trust in your ability to provide value for money. Now let's just take a look at a typical sales funnel. You're going to start off at the top of the sales funnel with a freebie, a free giveaway to get people to sign up to your mailing list. Then you're going to sell them a lower priced item, then a mid-range item, then a high-priced item, a higher-priced item, and then finally a very expensive item or an expensive service. So as the people go down the sales funnel, they build more and more trust in you. They're more and more likely to move up to the next level, and you can sell them more and more expensive things, expensive items, expensive products, expensive services, that sort of thing. Now let's look at how this works in some detail. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to assume that you're in the internet marketing niche, but it's just for illustration so that I can give you some practical examples. In reality, what I'm going to tell you can and does work in every niche, and it works for goods or services, but it works best with a combination of both. Okay, let's look at the top of the funnel, your freebie. Now, your freebie is usually a free report or an ebook, and you use this as an incentive to get people to sign up for your mailing list. So people come to your website, they sign up, and they get this free ebook or this free report, and that's got them on your list and into your funnel. Now, it must be high quality, and this is something very important when you're first starting out and you want to make sure that everything that you provide is of the highest quality. So it must be high quality, and it should be something that you could command a good price for if it were sold. So it's something that has a high perceived value, something that's worth money, but you're giving it away for free. And it should contain useful information that your customer can start to use right away. Something else that you can also do with your free report is to include a clickable link to your website and giveaway rights to it. And that way, if people share it, then the report can also be a useful traffic generator, because people will see the free report that you've given away, they'll see the link to your website in the back of it, and through curiosity, then they come and visit your site. So once you've got them signed up for the free report and you've got them on your mailing list, the first thing that you're going to offer them is a lower priced product. And it's usually an ebook, principally because you can deliver it digitally. Now, this lower priced product should contain a lot of information, and it should be a reasonable length. 20 pages of A4 or letter size is a good rule of thumb. Now, you want to really over-deliver on this, because the idea is that you use this to showcase how good the rest of your products are. So people buy your lower price product, they're completely blown away by how good the quality is, and so they go ahead and they buy something more expensive from you. So you want to keep the price fairly low, but not so cheap as to make people think that it's not likely to be any good. Because sometimes people will look at something and they'll think, oh, that's so cheap, it's got to be rubbish. But where in fact it is actually good quality. So you don't want to make it too cheap, but you don't want to make it too expensive either. And usually something like $9.95 or something similar is a good price for your low price product, because after all, under $10, people can not think twice about spending that sort of money. And also, you want to offer a money-back guarantee so that if people do buy your low-price product and they don't like it, then they can get a refund from you. So there's no risk attached to it. Then you sell them your mid-range price product. And this is something that's slightly more expensive than your ebook. And it can actually be an upsell to your low price product. So once someone has bought your low price product, you immediately offer them this mid-range product right away and offer them perhaps at a discount over what you would sell it if it were a standalone product. Because you see, once someone has bought something and they're in buying mode, they're much more likely to make an additional purchase. And a video version of your ebook is a popular choice at this level. Now, it should be low production values, just text and graphics with a voiceover. And you can use software like PowerPoint to make the slides and Camtasia to do the recording. And it can actually be the exact same stuff that's in your ebook, but just turned into a video. Now, after that, you're going to offer them a high-priced product, and this should be not immediately afterwards, but after a reasonable period of time. Because with your high-priced product, well, now you're really starting to make money. And courses and training products are popular at this stage. And these should be a combination of text and video. They should be well researched and well presented, and again, you want to over deliver on all this. You want to make sure that there is really outstanding value for money. And these training courses should have higher production values than your ebook and your previous videos. And you also want to include plenty of bonuses to add even more value. Then the next stage in the sales funnel is the higher priced product. And again, this is a much higher price point than the previous items. And the thing is, you'll find that not so many people will purchase at this stage. But you'll be able to charge considerably more. So make a virtue of this by limiting availability to create scarcity and add more value. Telephone coaching is popular at this level, and this can be a group conference call or it can be individual coaching. And what you can do is you can record the calls and offer the recordings as a downsell. So you can record them in MP3 format and then sell that as another product as a slightly lower price to people who perhaps didn't want to spend the money on your high price product, or the people who perhaps couldn't afford it, but they can still get the benefits from that, but it's just simply not live and they're not actually talking to you, they're just listening to the recording. And then finally, you have your expensive product or service. And this is the end of your sales funnel. So you'll probably only sell one or two of these, but you can charge a premium price. And because this will likely be time intensive, you won't be able to offer this to too many customers anyway. Popular choices at this stage include mentoring, one-on-one coaching, and ongoing consultancy. Now, you have to bear in mind that people will drop out at every stage. It's called a sales funnel. I suppose a sales colander would be perhaps a better description, because a lot of people are going to only sign up for your freebie. A lot of people are going to buy just your lower priced items or your mid-range items. So you may find that you hit a plateau. You may find that nobody is going to buy your more expensive stuff. So you might find that you've got a good market just selling the lower and mid-range price items, which is fine. You know then that you can keep churning out these products, keep churning out these services for that particular market over and over again all day long. So your sales funnel will build, and as it goes along, you can put your prices up and start to make even more and more money. And basically, that's how a sales funnel works. You've now reached the expensive end of the funnel. Right down at the bottom here, people have downloaded your freebie, they've bought all your lower, mid-range, high and higher priced products or services, and now you've got a position where you can sell them something that's quite expensive. And most likely this is going to be a service at this stage, and one offered by you or perhaps by other people within your organization. And this can either be a one-off, or more profitably, it can be an ongoing service that you're going to offer on a continuous basis. And at this sort of level, the most popular offerings are one-on-one coaching or mentoring and consultancy. And coaching can be done either in person or over the phone, and you can offer email support too. And it's tailored specifically to the needs of the client. And it involves a lot of interactive two-way communication. So if you're in a business niche, then people can telephone you or email you and get your advice on things that they're doing in their business, and you can coach or mentor them all the way through the process. And if you're in the fitness or sports niche, this might mean offering your services as a personal trainer or as a coach to a professional athlete, that sort of thing. But you're going to charge a premium price because they're going to have your time exclusively for however long has been agreed. Now, if you're doing consulting, then you're generally going to be helping organizations to improve their performance rather than individuals. And what you'll do is you'll analyze the problems that the organization has, and you'll draw up plans for improvement. You'll then work closely with them to implement the plans, and you'll tweak the plans where necessary. Now, in either case, you might be paid on a per session basis, an ongoing basis, or you might be paid a retainer. The overheads are low, it's just your time, and clients are paying a premium price for access to you, the expert. But even though now you've got somebody at the bottom part of your funnel, or at least one person or company, you shouldn't neglect the rest of it. You still need to keep this going as an ongoing process. So you still need to be getting people into the top of your sales funnel and generating traffic. You still need to be giving away your freebie and updating it from time to time. You still need to be offering low and mid-priced products, your high-priced products, higher priced products. You need to keep this turning over all the time. It's an ongoing process, not just a one-off. So you do need to keep coming up with products, coming up with ideas, coming up with new services, etc. Which is why by the time that people actually get to the bottom of your sales funnel here, there aren't very many people who are going to be interested in this and who are going to be prepared to pay this much. But also, because you're very busy with all this other stuff, you're not going to have a lot of time to take on a lot of consulting clients or do a lot of coaching anyway. So the fact that you probably won't sell very many of these really expensive products or services is in some ways a blessing. But your whole sales funnel, as I said, is an ongoing process, and you just need to keep on the whole time through and keep bringing people in, keep it churning over. And I wish you every success. When you reach the point on your sales funnel where you're selling your higher priced products and services, you're going to be selling smaller numbers, but you're going to be making bigger money. Now, this level comes pretty much the penultimate level to your sales funnel. So people have downloaded your freebie, they've bought your lower priced, mid-priced and high-priced items, and now you're going to offer them something that's quite expensive but is very, very good quality. And two types of products are popular at this level. One is telephone coaching and the other is a masterclass. Now, telephone coaching can be one-on-one, or it can be group calls, or it can be a combination of both. So, for example, you might have a group call where you're speaking to a lot of different people on the call, and then you open up the lines to have Q&A at the end of the call so that people can then ask you questions and everybody can hear the answer. Now, one thing that you want to do beforehand is to send out a questionnaire so that you can tailor the calls to suit the wants and needs of the participants. And then you structure the series of calls so that they follow an agenda and you can guide the participants towards achieving their goals. And something else you can do is you can record the calls and offer the recordings as a bonus. You can offer them for MP3 downloads, etc. Or you can offer this as a downsell to people who don't want to or who can't afford to participate in the calls themselves. Now, you won't sell as many of these as your other cheaper products. So make a virtue out of this by limiting the number of participants and creating scarcity. Now, there are lots of pros and cons to doing telephone coaching. And it's not for every niche. For example, if you're in the fitness niche, doing a telephone conferencing probably isn't going to be a good idea. But for a lot of niches, it is a very good thing to do. But let's just look at some of the pros and cons. Now, the pros. First of all, there's low overheads. It's just whatever it costs to hold the conference calls, and there are various services out there that offer them, and you can also do them via Skype and other methods that way. So there's very little financial outlay. It's just your time and your knowledge. Now let's look at the cons. First of all, it's time intensive. You have to tie yourself down to a specific number of dates and times. So you do have to schedule that into your diary, and that might intrude on other things. Then there are time zone problems because you're going to have to try and find a time that is acceptable to most of your customers when they're mostly going to be able to get on the call. And that can be difficult because, for example, if you're in a hobby niche, you might want to do the calls in the afternoon after people are home from work, or in the evenings. And let's say you're in New York. Well, it's going to be afternoon or evening there, but it's going to be during working hours in California, and it's going to be during the middle of the night in Europe. So you're going to have problems there getting people to be able to listen in. And finally, you must really know what you're talking about, because you can't fake it when someone asks you a question in Q&A and you don't know the answer, or you just waffle. So you really must know what you're talking about. And if you're not an expert at the subject, then this isn't something that you want to get involved in. Now let's look at some resources that you can use for telephone coaching. Exactly what conference call provider you use is largely going to depend on what country you're in. So my best advice would be to do a search in Google for conference calls, and you'll find there's lots and lots of different providers. And the features and prices vary, so it's a good idea to just simply go through and check them out and see which ones best meet your requirements. You can also do conference calls on Skype. They call them group calls. And of course, these are free and over the internet. And you can read more about it and download the software from skype.com. Now, similar to telephone coaching is holding a masterclass. And this can be approached in a similar way to telephone coaching, except that you deliver everything in one go. Now, like with telephone coaching, you can record the event, but this time on video, and you can offer it as a bonus or as a downsell. And just like over the phone, you can have Q&A afterwards. Now, just like with telephone coaching, there are some pros and cons to doing all this. The pros is, of course, it's higher perceived value. People actually get to see you in the flesh. And you can get it all over in one go, and you can hold several of these over the course of a year in different cities or countries. The cons, of course, well, there are much higher overheads. There's the venue costs, you've got travel costs, etc. There's limited capacity, so you need to make sure that you sell all of the places in order to turn a profit. And of course, it's harder to reschedule if something unexpected crops up. But regardless of which one you do, and there are others as well that you can have at this level, once again, you want to make sure that you offer overwhelmingly high value so that you over-deliver so that people feel that they have definitely got their money's worth.